Well, good evening. It's Robert E. Wilson with My Cowboy Wisdom. Tonight I want to talk about dissolving selfishness. And this is not only a podcast, a Facebook Live, but this is also an admission that I encompassed selfishness. And that is something that is kind of interesting to get rid of and talk about in my life, because I admit I was selfish and I always coveted what somebody else has. I was jealous and I would never admit it till now. I was afraid of what I knew, afraid of what other people knew. I was just in fear of admitting and understanding other people's wisdom. That is a selfishness. But I was also selfishness in trying to want what other people have. But you also look at the world, and you're going to see the world is selfish. And how is the world too selfish to move forward today? That is something I'm really expanded into. The world is selfish. And I taught myself to be selfish, and I was taught selfishness by the world, because we always wanted what somebody else has had. Even in history books, wars and everything was started over what somebody else has. It was jealous leaders that start war, selfish leaders, and leaders that disrespected themselves, so they wanted respect from the outside sources. But you look at the world today, it is very selfish. And if you look at something else today, businesses want to do something, but they want the private sector to pay for it. Football stadiums are the biggest ones. Yes, we get the money, but they don't ever respect us and treat us with respect after they're built. I've witnessed that in several places. So as I open up to understand I was selfish, and by admitting I was selfish, I cleared the selfishness within me. But it's about admitting it and understanding that selfishness is a want. You want everything, but you never it's a fear of not having the talent to go through it. Selfishness is. But selfishness is a want and a need to have everything now, and I encompass that big time. But when you can understand that what selfishness is, you can open up to show myself I have the guts and the courage to go through the events to my accomplished outcomes. And that is something I've really expanded of, is you got to have the courage and the guts to let go of selfishness and being afraid of receiving. We feel guilty when we want to receive something, because having more than somebody else is also something that people are afraid. They want more, but feeling they deserve more is a whole new world, and that's something I'm expanding into right now. But I really admit I was selfish, and I've been searching this out within myself for a long time. And as I go through this and I expand out of it, I went from being a want and a needy person into an inspirer and an expander of my life, because it's really about it's about allowing yourself to feel rather than think. We think in selfishness, we feel in freedom, with emotions of enterprising gall to experience it all. But my selfishness showed me that I always was jealous, but I'd say something, I think I wanted other people to do good, but yet internally I wanted them to fail until the last couple months. Now I want everybody to succeed. And the more I can expand people myself, the more I expand myself. And that's what My Cowboy Wisdom is about. It is about expanding others and showing them there is plenty of abundance for all of us. And also letting go of being stuck in ancient anger and ageless arrogance, because that's what it is. And if you listen to the media and things today, you can hear the selfishness of people because everybody wants something from somebody else. We call it entitlements, but it's really a selfishness. And if you really dig deeper into this, the business world and the politicians are very selfish, and we learn from the business people and the politicians in our personal lives. So when you can disconnect from that and see yourself in the mirror, sensing your abilities to expand, you can dissolve out of selfishness. Because we've been taught all through life, there's never enough for everybody. And there's abundance for everybody. But how is the less you want, the more you encompass? That is a question I've asked myself a whole bunch of times. But it's really about standing up to your habits of want and need. And I have to admit this, I was an impulse buyer. And that is something else that's a selfishness. Like there's no tomorrow. And salesmen, they play on people's selfishness. Well, if you don't take it today, it won't be here tomorrow. That's a fallacy. That one may not be here, but there will be another one here to be just like it. So how are you selfish in your world and you won't admit it to yourself? And that was the hard one. How was I afraid to admit I was selfish? And when I realize this, when I stick my nose in other people's business, I tell people what to do, and I never listen to them, that's a selfishness, because that's an arrogance. I have to be right and it has to be my way. And that is the ingredients for humble pie. And man, have I ate some humble pie. And all the humble pie I've ate has always tasted like crap. But that's okay, because I can unstrap the crap to wrap to realize, appreciate, and participate and facilitate my life. But being unselfish doesn't mean you give everybody anything, because how did you give something to somebody and have somebody do something for you, then want something in return secretly, and then when it didn't happen, you got angry and frustrated? That was me. Pick me. And I realized the more I talk about my encumbrances and my gifts, the more I expand. Because the people of the world will tutor me, and my life and their life experiences and everybody's life experiences is a metaphor for us to move forward. And probably the most selfish people in the world are Wall Street people, because they want to keep everything right there. And you know, the more you open up to this, that is letting go of selfishness, and understand we all encompass the revolutionary resolve to evolve of our dreamer's dare. But really, a dreamer's dare is nothing more than seeing and listening to your daily life expand everybody through it, because life is a challenge on purpose. And some people don't seem like they have challenges and it all comes easy. It does on the surface, but what is going on underneath? And the more I see myself letting go of selfishness to listen to everybody. You know, this, I don't know how to say this, but to say it. You know, people we think that are restricted through physical abilities, how are they actually the courageous ones to teach us a new way of life? But we have them categorized into this is where they are. And how is categorizing? That's categorization, but categorizing of people, a selfishness, trying to control other people and keep them within the confines of what you think they are and where they should be in life. Oh, I'm guilty of that one. But it's not whether it's happened in the past. It's what am I doing how am I expanding in the now? Naturally open the willpower to see the world with this, inspire our eyes and expand our ears to enterprise, energize, expand, appreciate, and experience my life in a simple, savvy way. How does thinking and everything in life keep you locked and blocked in overthinking and in memory? How is the world today actually living the memories of our ancestors? Because our political system, financial system are still the same. We got different players, but overall it's the same. And how is the business world wanting to keep everything for themselves, but yet they want people to buy their products and not pay them? How are we afraid to pay the world forward? That's a selfishness I'm talking about. Everybody in the world wants to pay minimum, but yet they want maximum in return. And people worked hard to get this country, and I am a union electrician, and the unions worked hard to get people the 40-hour work week, but yet even in the unions we're destroying that within ourselves. But how is that something that we've done? But it really comes down to I can only talk about me as a member of I've been selfish and not moved myself forward enough to do that. But the union principle is probably the most dynamic principle that is needed today. All the unions got to open their eyes to see the way, and people got to open their eyes to see a better way too. And when I say the unions still have a lot of clout, but we have to show the world that pensions, hourly wages, and benefits are an expansion of the world that takes the pressure off of the tax rolls. But how is the world selfish up there? And you know, the working world, the business world, the spiritual world, schools, all are encompassed in your life. And to expand the world forward, you have to expand yourself and let go of everything is about me and for me. And I really have taken myself out of the equation of my life. And I can expand others because what happens is nothing about me. And I used to make everything about me, trust me. And I was caught up in it and I would do it. And now I realize I was nothing but a selfish, immature, low self-esteem person. Today, I want to be a visible wraith, and that's a visible spirit. The spirit is unafraid of everything. My thinking mind is fearful of everything. So when I can let go and get down into my lower self here and engage in my gut prowess and my spiritual savvy, just to listen without my mind running 100 miles an hour. So if I can unbind the mind's memories, listen, and with an inspire fire, how free will I feel internally to walk into the unknown, the unexplainable, and the unseen without my memories closing me down. See, life, if you ever look at a question mark, it mirrors people. You got the head, the backbone, and the period, so you're grounded. And life is a question. And that is something that'll never go away, because life is a question and a query to find the gifts within everybody. Because it's the people of the world today, when they go through the dissolve their selfishness, open up their unselfish utopian lure, will expand the world into peace and prosperity. Because the power of the world is people. The assets of the world is people. And that is where we are today. It's the people. And I admit I was selfish, and I taught myself to be selfish, And I held on to it tight up until about 2 months ago. I really started realizing I was thinking I was doing this, and I was thinking I was doing this, but I never detached the feelings of selfishness. And that's where it really is. And when you want to detach the feelings, you walk through the fields of the thorns of scorn of selfishness to open out the blessed brilliance of your heart and soul, because you understand the world is here to challenge you and me to be better people every day. And that's something else I expanded into the last few days. I never want to be the best hand on any job. I never want to be the know-it-all. I want to be the best person on that job. And people can feel comfortable and people feel free around me to talk to me and express their opinions and their viewpoints without me trying to one-up them and throw things back to them and put my own thinking into it. If I listen with an open heart and a seeing soul, I always expand through the conversation rather than being stuck in the conversation. And that is something I'm really, really expanding of. And I have a long, long way to go. But the trials and tribulations that I will experience will open my trails of bliss for me to sit on my mountain of money on my porch, rocking in my rocking chair of robust riches, now and forevermore. But it's really the selfishness of the world. It's the selfishness of people that I got mine and you can't have none. And I want to keep it all is the foundation of failure in the whole society. Everybody's wanting something, but nobody is willing to inspire, expand, energize, enterprise, and appreciate life to move us forward. That is where life really opens the doors of our door for me to soar. It's the enthusiasm of seeing other people's success is where I'm blessed. And I'm really beginning to be there. Do I have a long ways to go? Yes. But am I willing to walk over the cactus patches to get to the lush green grass, to take a nap in the valley and watch the animals play? Yes, I am. It's never how smart you are, it's how willing you are to expand through the situations to open your eyes to the promised land that is yours when you allow yourself to expand and let go of yesterday. Yesterday is the biggest failure in life. And we've actually got a vocabulary that keeps us in yesterday. Change, heal, create, and transformation. They're all about yesterday. Expand, enterprise, experience, and appreciate life as an inspirer and expander brings you into the now, which naturally optimizes wonderful ways of life. And I am Robert A. Wilson with My Cowboy Wisdom. My email is robert@mycowboywisdom. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. My books are at howdiditeachmyselffear.com and at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. My books are written in the first person and unpunctuated because life is unpunctuated and unedited. And punctuation actually controls your thinking because that you read it one way, your subconscious reads it another way. And so I'll see you Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And may your life always be bountifully blessed as you are a blessing to me and the world. And now I say good night.